Hello, and welcome to our channel. We're so glad you're here with us today. If you enjoy this content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exciting videos. And if you'd like to show your support, hit that super thanks button. It really helps us keep bringing you great content. Let's dive in. Edgar Cayce, known as the Sleeping Prophet, made numerous predictions about the future, with some of his most dramatic focusing on catastrophic Earth changes. Among his prophecies, Cayce foresaw significant geological upheavals leading to the submersion of vast landmasses, including parts of the east coast of the United States, Japan, and Northern Europe. He linked these changes to a broader spiritual and environmental shift, emphasizing humanity's role in both the causes and outcomes of such events. This video explores the details of Cayce's predictions, the possible scientific basis for these prophecies, and their significance for today's world. Cayce predicted that New York City, one of the world's most iconic urban centers, would face devastating flooding. He envisioned a future where parts of the city would be completely submerged, rendering them uninhabitable. This prediction has sparked considerable discussion, particularly in light of modern concerns about climate change and rising sea levels. Experts today highlight the vulnerability of coastal cities like New York to storm surges, hurricanes, and the gradual encroachment of ocean waters. Cayce's visions align eerily with scenarios projected by environmental scientists, adding a layer of intrigue to his prophecies. Cayce extended his warnings beyond New York City to encompass much of the eastern seaboard. He suggested that drastic changes would reshape the Atlantic coastline, with entire regions sinking beneath the waves. Cities and states along the East Coast, he claimed, would face widespread destruction and become uninhabitable. This would lead to mass migrations inland, forcing populations to adapt to a vastly altered landscape. Cayce's visions emphasized the vulnerability of low-lying areas to natural disasters, a concern that resonates today as hurricanes and extreme weather events increase in frequency and intensity. Cayce attributed these catastrophic changes to a mix of natural and spiritual factors. On the natural side, he pointed to shifts in the Earth's magnetic field, movements of tectonic plates, and seismic activity as the driving forces behind the predicted upheavals. These geophysical changes, he suggested, were part of the planet's natural cycles, but humanity's actions might accelerate or exacerbate them. Cayce also linked these disasters to spiritual causes, arguing that humanity's disregard for moral and environmental harmony was a key factor. He believed that societal greed, neglect of spiritual values, and environmental exploitation disrupted the balance between humans and nature, setting the stage for such cataclysmic events. According to Cayce, returning to a state of spiritual and ecological equilibrium was essential to mitigating these disasters. While Cayce's predictions may seem apocalyptic, they carry warnings that resonate with today's challenges. Climate scientists have issued similar alerts about rising sea levels and the increasing vulnerability of coastal cities to flooding. New York City, for example, has already experienced destructive storms like Hurricane Sandy, which caused widespread damage and highlighted the city's susceptibility to extreme weather. Whether or not Cayce's visions will come to pass in their entirety remains uncertain. However, his emphasis on the interplay between natural forces and human behavior serves as a reminder of the importance of both environmental stewardship and spiritual awareness in addressing the challenges of a changing world. Cayce foresaw that large parts of Japan could disappear due to devastating earthquakes and tectonic activity. Japan, located on the Pacific Ring of Fire, is one of the most seismically active regions in the world, making this prediction plausible. This area experiences frequent earthquakes and volcanic eruptions due to the movement of the Earth's tectonic plates. Cayce's vision aligns with Japan's geological reality, where tectonic shifts can lead to massive undersea quakes, triggering tsunamis and potentially submerging land. In recent years, concerns about Japan's vulnerability have grown. Events like the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami serve as reminders of the region's instability. Cayce's prediction might also echo long-term consequences of these recurring events, suggesting a gradual or sudden loss of habitable land. Cayce's predictions also included major changes in northern Europe. He foresaw rising sea levels that would submerge parts of Scandinavia, the British Isles, and nearby regions. Though Cayce didn't directly attribute these changes to polar ice melt, his visions are consistent with modern concerns about climate change. The melting of polar ice caps, a process already accelerating due to global warming, contributes to rising sea levels that threaten low-lying coastal areas. For Scandinavia, the British Isles, and other northern European areas, such an event could have catastrophic consequences, including the loss of farmland, infrastructure, and human settlements. Cayce also mentioned that the Earth's axis might shift, exacerbating environmental instability in these regions. While Cayce's predictions were made in the early 20th century, they resonate with contemporary concerns about environmental degradation, climate change, and natural disasters. Advances in geoscience provide evidence of tectonic activity and climate shifts that could cause the type of events Cayce envisioned. The possibility of massive submersions in Japan and northern Europe serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of human habitation in geologically and environmentally vulnerable regions. Although Cayce's prophecies cannot be scientifically verified, they continue to inspire discussions about preparedness and resilience in the face of potential global catastrophes. Cayce envisioned a future where a dramatic pole shift would occur, leading to significant geological transformations. He suggested that the Earth's magnetic poles would shift, triggering movement in tectonic plates. This would create widespread disruption across the planet. The aftermath of this shift could include earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and massive tsunamis. Entire regions, including parts of Japan and coastal areas of the U.S., were predicted to sink beneath the sea. Cayce often tied physical disasters to humanity's spiritual condition, emphasizing a need for inner and collective balance. He linked geological catastrophes to humanity's exploitation of natural resources and its detachment from spiritual principles. He warned that neglecting harmony with nature could result in destructive consequences. Cayce proposed that disasters might reflect the collective karma of humanity. He viewed these events as opportunities for spiritual awakening and renewal, urging individuals to embrace compassion and respect for the earth. Although Cayce's prophecies were rooted in his psychic readings, modern science provides perspectives that echo some of his predictions. Many areas mentioned by Cayce, such as the Pacific Ring of Fire, are geologically volatile. Earthquakes and volcanic eruptions in these regions align with his visions. Contemporary science highlights rising global temperatures and melting ice caps, which lead to higher sea levels. Coastal regions face increasing risks of flooding and submersion, consistent with Cayce's warnings about submerged lands. Scientific evidence indicates that the Earth's magnetic poles have shifted in the past and may shift again. While not as sudden or catastrophic as Cayce predicted, such shifts could impact the planet's magnetic field and ecosystems. Cayce's warnings about geological upheavals and humanity's spiritual decay resonate in today's context of climate change, environmental exploitation, and natural disasters. Whether interpreted literally or symbolically, his message underscores the importance of aligning human actions with ethical and spiritual values. For many, Cayce's prophecies serve not just as predictions, but as calls to action for creating a more balanced and sustainable future. Hurricane Sandy 2012. This hurricane revealed the East Coast's susceptibility to storm surges and flooding. New York City experienced severe flooding in subways, tunnels, and neighborhoods, costing billions in damages. The event underscored the region's vulnerability to climate change-driven storms, which are expected to become more frequent and intense. Subsidence, a phenomenon where the ground gradually sinks. Subsidence exacerbates risks for coastal communities. In areas like the Chesapeake Bay, natural geological processes and groundwater extraction accelerate land subsidence, compounding the effects of rising sea levels. Tohoku earthquake and tsunami 2011. The 9.0 magnitude earthquake and ensuing tsunami devastated northeastern Japan. Entire towns were submerged, and the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster compounded the tragedy. Japan's location along the Pacific Ring of Fire makes it prone to such catastrophic events. Japan sits at the intersection of 4 tectonic plates, causing frequent seismic activity. This instability, combined with a rugged coastline and densely populated areas, leaves the nation highly vulnerable to tsunamis and coastal flooding. The Arctic is warming nearly 4 times faster than the global average, causing glaciers and ice caps to melt. This contributes to rising sea levels, threatening low-lying areas in northern Europe. Coastal nations like the Netherlands, which lies largely below sea level, have long relied on sophisticated flood defenses such as dikes, levees, and storm surge barriers. However, these systems face mounting challenges as sea levels continue to rise. Other nations, such as the United Kingdom and Denmark, also face increasing risks from storm surges and coastal erosion. Global warming, geological instability, and human activities are amplifying the risks of submersion for regions across the world. The east coast of the United States, Japan, and northern Europe exemplify areas that must adapt quickly to mitigate the effects of rising sea levels, tectonic activity, and extreme weather events. Investments in resilient infrastructure, early warning systems, and sustainable practices will be critical to safeguarding these regions against future disasters. Cayce famously predicted the submersion of landmasses, such as portions of Japan and the U.S. coasts. Symbolically, these visions can be seen as metaphors for the collapse of outdated paradigms. Rather than literal land sinking, this may signify the end of rigid structures, whether political, economic, or cultural, and the rise of new frameworks rooted in greater unity and spirituality. Such transformation suggests that upheaval is necessary for growth, with submersion reflecting humanity's deeper plunge into understanding and self-awareness. Though Cayce lived in the early 20th century, his descriptions of shifting climates, natural disasters, and ecological changes resonate with modern concerns about climate change. Symbolically, his warnings highlight humanity's unsustainable relationship with the environment. Rising seas and extreme weather could represent consequences of ignoring the balance between nature and progress. Cayce's prophecies may urge humanity to embrace stewardship of the planet, fostering sustainability and harmony with Earth's ecosystems. Cayce's prophecies are often interpreted as both warnings and guidance. While literal readings focus on the physical manifestations of change, symbolic interpretations encourage introspection and collective action. His visions remind humanity to adapt, transform, and rise to challenges, emphasizing spiritual renewal as a vital counterpart to physical survival. Whether literal or symbolic, Cayce's messages call for a profound shift in consciousness to build a more harmonious future. Edgar Cayce's warnings hold relevance today, particularly in the context of climate change, spiritual awakening, and disaster preparedness. Cayce's visions of submerged coastlines align with contemporary concerns about rising sea levels caused by global warming. Coastal cities face increasing risks from flooding and erosion, emphasizing the urgent need for proactive measures, such as transitioning to renewable energy, reducing carbon emissions, and implementing sustainable development practices. Cayce highlighted the significance of spiritual growth and ethical living as essential steps for humanity to overcome future challenges. His teachings advocate for a harmonious relationship with nature and each other, emphasizing collective responsibility, compassion, and mindfulness. This spiritual perspective underscores the need to address environmental degradation as both a moral and practical imperative. Cayce's predictions underscore the necessity for practical preparedness in the face of natural disasters. Investing in resilient infrastructure, robust disaster response systems, and community education can mitigate risks and protect vulnerable populations. His visions encourage a balanced approach, blending spiritual insight with tangible action to foster a sustainable and resilient future. In essence, Edgar Cayce's prophecies serve as a compelling call to action, urging humanity to integrate ethical values with practical solutions to address the environmental and social challenges of our time. Central to Cayce's philosophy was the belief that human free will can shape the future. He taught that while certain trends and patterns may seem inevitable, collective action rooted in compassion, cooperation, and mindfulness could avert the most dire outcomes. According to Cayce, humanity's choices individually and collectively are pivotal in determining whether prophesied calamities occur. Cayce viewed disasters not as punishments, but as opportunities for growth and transformation. He suggested that crises could awaken individuals and societies to higher spiritual truths, leading to deeper understanding, unity, and a renewed commitment to service. These challenges, he believed, could serve as catalysts for personal and global evolution, prompting humanity to align more closely with divine principles. Cayce also advocated for meditation and prayer as tools to foster inner peace and collective harmony. By connecting with the divine and cultivating spiritual awareness, individuals could influence the broader energy of humanity, contributing to a shift toward positive outcomes. In his teachings, Cayce reminded us that hope lies in our ability to grow spiritually, work together, and make conscious choices. Even in the face of great trials, his message remains clear: humanity holds the power to transcend catastrophe and create a brighter future. Through unity and spiritual awakening, a new era of peace and enlightenment can emerge. Edgar Cayce's prophecies of land submersion, while dramatic, hold both literal and symbolic significance. His warnings about the East Coast, Japan, and Northern Europe highlight humanity's vulnerability to natural disasters, many of which are exacerbated by climate change and environmental mismanagement. At the same time, Cayce's emphasis on spiritual growth and harmony offers a path forward, encouraging humanity to address its environmental challenges while seeking deeper spiritual connections. Whether viewed as a call to action or a cautionary tale, Cayce's visions remain a profound reminder of the interconnectedness of the physical and spiritual realms. As we reflect on Edgar Cayce's prophecies and their potential connection to our current world, it's clear that his insights on land submersion, environmental challenges, and the need for spiritual awakening still hold relevance today. Whether you view his predictions as a warning, a message of hope, or simply a fascinating glimpse into the future, one thing is certain: our actions today will shape the world of tomorrow. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of Edgar Cayce's prophecies. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Feel free to leave your thoughts and comments below. What do you think of Cayce's predictions? Do you believe there is truth to them? Until next time, stay curious, stay aware, and keep seeking knowledge.